I'm going to place a prediction just right here. It's going to stay there the whole time, so you know there's no funny business. And all I'm going to have you do is just say stop anywhere. How about right there? Let's take this card out here, the 6 of Hearts. Now, it's important to note that all these cards are different. You really could have picked any single one. But I somehow knew, I had a feeling that you might pick that one, which is why I picked out the mate to your card. The 6 of Diamonds. Welcome to the video. If you like magic content like this, I post 2 videos a week, so be sure to subscribe to learn more magic. I hope you enjoy learning this trick. Let's get into it. Welcome to one of the easiest and most practical real-world card forces. I have been using this for years for card routines. It's just so simple. It's also very quick. So in a routine where the procedure of getting to the card doesn't matter too much, this is great. This is the Riffle Break Force. So to begin, you have a card you want to force at the top, and you're going to swing cut that in to the middle of the deck. Now, just a repeat for those of you who don't know the swing cut, you're going to hold the deck in biddle grip. I'm left-handed, just for context. Use kind of a Spider-Man grip to hold the cards like so. And this way you have your index finger able to pull up cards and they're going to pivot off the thumb. So you see that there? I'm holding it at the edges here, and I get to lift cards from the thumb with the index finger. From there I can push out with my index finger. This swings the cards over. Your subordinate hand, what would be your dealer's grip hand, can come over and you're going to go deep into it right here. You see kind of right into the underside of my thumb, and I'm clipping it mainly with my index and thumb to transfer it over, and then I can receive it into a dealer's grip. And that is just a way to cut the deck. But in the case of forcing a card, we're going to swing cut in, place down, and we're going to hold a pinky break when we place down. So what you're allowing is the flesh of your pinky to get in the way of the cards, so that way from the back you have access to the card you've cut in. From the front, you're going to want to be careful to hide that break as much as possible. Now, no matter how good you get at this, there's always going to be some level of discrepancy. I think it's very difficult, in fact, to completely remove it. But one thing you can do to help this is to curl your index finger underneath and apply some pressure. So the version I'm teaching right now is, not only from my years of experience doing this, but we're in a month where we are covering tricks from the Royal Road to Card Magic book. So I'm using notes and details from that book, and this is one of them. Putting that index finger underneath is going to help in removing or concealing that break from the front as much as possible. And you have your pinky here. Placing your index finger here might also be helpful for the procedure, which is to riffle down the sides of the deck. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to riffle down the sides, and you're going to invite the spectator to say stop. Now you'll notice here, sometimes I also just place my index finger on top. And in that case, what I do is I press underneath with it right here, kind of this knuckle. So if you want to do that, you can. It's really up to you. One thing with the Royal Road teaching of it is that you do get a display of the whole front of the pack. But regardless, you're going to riffle down the side with your thumb. So if you're doing this in your left hand, it's going to be this side. Riffle down the side, and you just invite them to say stop. Now you'll notice there I've placed the force card face up, and it's right here. Now they really can say stop anywhere, in my opinion, but in the Royal Road book they encourage you to time it to where they're going to say stop just before this card. So if you want to control for that, you want to swing cut fewer cards down, which gives you more play here. So you have a slightly lower spot where that force card will be. Then it's a little bit of timing, you'll get the knack of it, but you're going to start riffling, and you just say, as I riffle down, just say stop. And you riffle down and they'll say stop, hopefully somewhere near and above the force card. This allows you to take a moment, and you're going to truly stop where they said stop. And you say right there, and you're holding down. You can see I'm kind of holding this position. So I still have retained the pinky break here. I'm holding this position of pulling with the thumb down at the actual place they've said stop. All you have to do now is come over with your dominant hand, and we're going to hold things in biddle grip once again. You're going to hold the packet, and you have access here with the thumb. You see how that works? Your thumb is going to grip the genuine spot you're going to pull away from. In a moment, you're just going to release and pull up at the break. And you're going to offer them this card. Some notes from Royal Road they recommend is to come over and slide over rather than pulling up. It might be a subtle distinction in all my experience of doing it. It's just kind of a quick transfer. You go from letting this come together to pulling away pretty smoothly and quickly. It's just a moment. And it's so subtle and quick that to me, it doesn't make too much of a difference. Another thing you can do if you'd like is cover this a little bit as you come away. In fact, in part 4 on the page describing this from Royal Road, that is something they recommend, is allowing it to be completely covered. So if you want to really get the coverage, you completely remove any discrepancy that they might notice. And it's such a quick moment. So from the top, we've swing cut this in, pinky break is retained. You can curl underneath to really keep that front edge as nice and clean as possible. Riffle down with your thumb while inviting them to say stop while you riffle. So you say, just say stop as I riffle down. They'll say stop. You genuinely stop there. You say right there, okay. You come over with that middle hand. Your thumb is contacting the break. Your whole hand, if you'd like, can cover. And you're gonna come away, slide away. And another little kind of nuance that they recommended in Royal Road is to keep that riffle down pause equal to how it looked before. So you had your thumb kind of locked in this downward position before. Keep it there after you transfer to the force card. So now all in motion, it would look something like this. I'd say, all right, I'm just going to have you pick a card real quick. So you know what? Just say stop as I riffle down. Stop right there. Perfect. And it's as simple as that. What is this force good for? Like I said at the top, it's good for quick procedures. If it really matters, there's some tricks in which you actually front load the procedure to be a little more complicated so that it can seem much more free. But in the case of close-up magic, walk around magic, especially if you're going to be creating a lot of magic moments and you're using the force for them, this can really get you in a great situation. But it's also just a casual thing to get the magic moving. So say you're doing something like the biddle trick, which is a great trick we have a tutorial for on the channel. One option for the biddle trick is to peek the card, but that means you have to get the card selected and then go through a peek method. In this case, you've cut out some of that extra steps. So if you already know the card that you're going to be forcing, you just get through the force real quickly, and then you can immediately go into the trick. This is an important move, in my opinion, this riffle force, because it just is that practical, that simple, and that usable for any sort of card trick where you need a force. One extra note in terms of angles is that you can turn this inward toward yourself. It's another note from Royal Road, and that will help with your angles. Of course, they're not ever going to be perfect. I hope you enjoyed this one. It really is practical to your card magic, so I hope this helps. Wanted to take a moment to give a huge shout out to my channel members. You guys are the best. So one of the ways you can support this channel is by becoming a channel member. At the supporter tier, you get exclusive badges, as well as access to my behind the scenes library that I've begun building out. So things like how I film my magic videos, some looks into my card collection, discussions on theory, stuff like that. At the insider tier, I've been building a bonus trick library. So every month on the free videos for this channel, I teach from classic magic works like the Royal Road to Card Magic, Expert at the Card Table, the Tarbell Course in Magic, things like that. And so that's still there, but on the insider tier, I just teach a bonus trick every month. So from whatever that same book we're kind of discussing in a given month, I'll pull an extra trick to go into the bonus trick library. So if you're interested in supporting the channel, but you're also interested in some of those perks, you can check that out there. You can click the join button below. I also have some merch, which can be a great way for you to show people that you're a magician, might even be a good inroad to you doing some tricks for them, as well as a ton of items that are basically just gaffs. They have card reveals on them. And if you're a magician, you know that you can use those for some pretty powerful tricks. So those are all just some ways you can support me. But for now, I hope you enjoy the rest of this video. If you enjoyed that video, help me out by liking and subscribing. Check out the other video that YouTube is going to recommend to you on the end screen here. But until next time, keep enjoying your magic, stay a hobbyist at heart, and I'll see you guys in the next video.